that's called Mothman. So, what research has shown is Mothman shows up at areas of great tragedy, like the bridge, where was it, Pennsylvania? The bridge collapsing or other crises. Why does it do that? Is it there to collect information? I think it is there also to warn people, but people are terrified of it. There are cases of large winged beings, not Mothman, but similar. People are driving down the road in their truck and clump, something lands in the back of their truck. And it's huge. What is that? I don't know. But there's so much out there. There are lakes that have this pleistocene looking Nessie creature. And not just one, there are many of them. In Montana, the lake around Whitefish is very, very, very deep. And there's one there. Nobody's making that up. There are sightings of these things. But what we tend to do is to go into a cognitive dissonance where we have no access to the rational mind. Our fears take over and we try to resolve it with the information we have. Some things will always be mysterious. It's just how it is. But the first step is to accept that these beings are here and perhaps allow them the grace and the dignity of living the life they live. Now, I don't know if there are any mermaids around and mer people. I don't think so. I think they cycled out. If there are, perhaps they come from the etheric. I don't know. And I say that a lot. I don't know. I'm just a research analyst in psionics. I just present questions and these ideas for you to do your own research and think about. But the main issue with the cryptids is the fear. The main issue with UFO people, things that go bump in the night, the supernatural. There's so much fear and terror, and then we demonize them. We separate ourselves from these other beings, and there's the problem because it's all one field and we live in it.
It makes me wonder if we have something to learn from the cryptids and even the feral people of the Appalachian. They don't have a mortgage, they don't have traffic jams. They seem to be more in harmony with the world than we do.
Oh, I don't think the feral people are in harmony at all. I think that it's a tragic situation. If you had somebody that had a lot of outdoor skills, or like a lot of people move to Alaska and then they're really upset because they see how hard it is to live off the land and you have to know a lot. I think that's a possible situation to live off grid. I've done a little bit of that at the farm. I basically turn off my electricity for the first year. I'd turn it on to vacuum once a week and I'd turn it on to let the well fill up. But I learned what that was like. And it's the inconvenience of knowing what you've grown up with and not having it that is crisis point. The feral people, they haven't so-called grown up knowing of those um, luxuries or those ways of being. Um, they're probably, most of them, insane. And they're living in an animalistic way. And that is not what humanity comes here to do. But we do have a lot to learn from the natural beings, the natural so-called cryptids, the dog man, um, the were beings, the beings that are of Davic origin that look like angels. There's something to learn from all of this. And the native tribes, many, many, many years ago, they'd trade with them. And there are many stories about that. But most people don't want to hear that because it goes right to fear.
Are these beings that have been here for a long time, they're called here by the earth, are we their enemies?
No, not at all. No, 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 we're not at all. They
Well, what
kind of
about the
feel
humans of us that are destroying the earth?
well, it's a sad they feel grieved by it, I would think, but we're not their enemies, the behaviors are. They have an understanding to where they live on the earth. They are part of the earth. They deal with the gnomes, with the dwarves, with the Davic beings in a much more natural, intuitive way than we do. All of those beings understand that we are in these end times. We're not going to destroy the earth. You know, the earth can destroy us, but does the earth angry? I don't think Earth Mother has human emotions. Those are human emotions. I think what she does, because she is in total 24/7 contact with God, with the masters, with Sanat Kumara, with beings from other places. It's huge. It's very, very, very complex. She's not by herself. And I don't believe that, well, Mother Earth is now rebelling with tsunamis. No, that's a natural reaction to the times that we're in, the changes going on with the earth, as well as the unnatural things that we're doing to the planet. So I think time will tell, but we are not going to destroy this earth. What we are destroying is the dignity and the ability to live with these other beings. And yeah, we're making a mess. You think of these fatbergs of all this these floating islands that are miles large, supposedly, of plastics. That's disgusting. And do what you call the UFO people, they could zap that and disappear it in a second. But we have free will. Even Maitreya and the masters, when they're in the open, they're not going to save you, rescue you. What we will be given, because we will be at more at peace, is a way of digging out of this hole that we've put ourselves in. My niece, who lives on the Rosebud Zoo, she said, you know, sometimes here, Evie says, sometimes here on the reservation, you know, somebody starts to get themselves out of this hole and everybody else pulls them back down. It's like a bucket of crabs. And I said, Evie, why do you think that is? She says, well, we're tribal people. Nobody's supposed to do better than the other. So that's a tribal system. Can that work? That can work too. All this stuff is going to work together in a hugely complex turning wheel of activity. And we will pull ourselves out of that hole, but we will only do it through love and compassion and tuning into these other beings and their way of life. They do not destroy the earth. They don't poop where they eat, so to speak. And we can, of course, learn that from them. But why do we do this to the earth? Is commercialism and is competition, and it's too much technological arguing back and forth. The other day, Elon, I saw, and I love Elon Musk. The other day, he did an interview, maybe it was last week, and they said, what would you like to see happen? He said, I really wish I could slow down artificial intelligence. I'd just like to slow it down a little bit. But we've done this too. We're now sliding down the, Mount Everest on our butts. We're going faster and faster. But we do a lot of things on this planet to the point that we devolve. We get stuck like we appear to be now, that we're not moving forward. We're just swimming around in this whirlpool. But we'll get out of it, and we will do that through love and compassion and from sharing.
Will we begin to share with these supernatural beings, or will we be able to learn from them? Can we learn how to use portals, for example?
You don't need to do that. I think the whole purpose of that is that they're coming from their ship or other ships, other dimensions, and they will remain very separate from us in many ways. For example, here's an example of that, how you live with things. Tom and I have a game camera down on the gulch. We're up on the mountain and down in one of our gulch areas, and that's what you call back east. We call it a holler. What is it? It's in between two mountain areas. You're going down the gulch, and there, what he says, look at this game camera over a couple of days. There's the fox. Oh, there's my neighbor's cat Goose. You can see him, and oh, look, there's a male cougar. It's a mountain lion right there, right down where I can see from the house. And look, there's another one. There's a younger one. That's a female. They're all that. This stuff's there. You live with it. Now, you're not going to see a mountain lion. You will not see one of those things unless you got a pack of dogs and you're chasing their ass. But these things live separately from us, but they have their own life. And that is how Dogman and Bigfoot has lived most of the time on this planet. There are ones that do share with humanity at times and places, but you're not going to have a big, everybody gets together and smokes a joint and has beers. It's not going to be happening. They are going to retain the dignity of why they are here because they know who they are. They don't question who they are, and their point of evolution is different than ours. They evolve like we do, they have souls. You kill one, you're killing an ensouled beings. The cetaceans, the whales, the dolphins, they have souls. You kill them, there might be karma. I don't know. I don't know. But I think there will be more communication, but not everybody in the world. I think there will be people who do work with them who have silent information. Think about the native tribes. There are people designated to do that kind of work. We're moving into a time where we will also have people designated to do that kind of work. But not everything is for everybody. There is no everyone unless you're talking about food, clothing, shelter, eat, sleep, poop. There's only certain things that we all do. But those are very delicate matters when we're trying to communicate with and control the delicate balance of the beings that are not human on the planet. Now, I'll take that back. They human or animal? I don't know. There's something that they're not from here. So what is that? They're aliens? Yeah, they're alien beings, I think.
That makes a lot of sense, but I still think portals would solve a lot of traffic problems.
It would certainly in Missoula. Oh my God, with our 5 bridges, the traffic is just wackadoodle here. I don't know what we're gonna do. There's no way to change it. You just can't. So of course the solution is fewer cars. It's always the solution. Portals are utilized, of course, by what you call UFO people, some of these otherworldly beings who appear and disappear. And there is some footage of seeing them do that, and it's beautiful and mystical. But not all of them do that. Some of them are here and they have been here and they do breed here and stay here.
And are they emotional beings as well?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh, yes. They have hugely complex cultures. They have rules, they have laws. They punish the ones that do bad things. They elevate ones that have more intelligence or are more evolved, just like humanity. There's some that are much smarter than others. Some are just as dumb as some of us are. So it's a whole complex society, and I think that information is what will come out more once we get rid of our fear and saying, "Oh, I don't know if they're really there. We have to prove it. We have to kill one and see if they're there." That's
Mm.
just childish. That's what keeps us being 3 million years behind Mars. Oh my God. You know what? How long can we continue to do what we're doing? I don't know. I have no answer.
So they don't live like humans or have mortgages, but they all have obligations of some kind in their own way.
I believe they do. I believe they are, from what the dog man has told me, they are ensouled beings with missions and with goals. And they do come out in and out of different realities. They are not from this solar system. They're from way out and way beyond.
So their mission isn't necessarily interacting with humans, but it happens to be in the same place.
I would think with their councils, there's a lot of argumentation from what I've intuited from talking to him. He's shown me a picture of one of their councils, and they argue just like we do in Congress. There's argumentation, and there's some people are more warlike. Some of them are more warlike, some are more peace-like. They're like people. They have their likes and dislikes and their evolutions. Some don't even want to be here or to deal with us, but the agreement is that they stay here and they understand. The ones that do stay here, the ones that come and go, that they have agreements and they are regulated. When you come to this planet, you're dealing with the free will of potential gods, which is who people are. You're dealing with free will. No one interferes with that except other humans, boundary violators. We do it to each other all the time, but they don't. You're not allowed to come here and do that. You have to wait for an invitation. That's why it's taking Maitreya so long to come out. That plus cosmic evil he's having to deal with. But when the call goes up, when finally the governments of this world say, God help us, we don't know what to do. The world teacher Maitreya will step into the open. You'll see the masters, and we'll start to get a changed world. But we have to act like that now because he's here. He's just not in the visible. We haven't had the day of declaration. But we have to act like that now. We have to seek higher power and say, God, help me. What am I supposed to do? Well, you're supposed to wait. I hate that one. Okay, I'm waiting. So what do I do while I'm waiting? Well, go fix some cookies for your grandson, Zoli. Go do some research. Go sit on your hands. You know, go harass your husband that we need to do this, we need to do just really, Zoli, you have to wait. And what are we waiting for? We're waiting for the collaborative effort of time and the material world, the higher beings, humanity, the David to all come together. And it happens occasionally. That's what those huge synchronous points are. And that's the point where you see humanity making a huge leap. And I think that's part of what's happening now.